As always, thank you for tuning in to watch this episode of Season Talk, where we are continuing the conversations of what do you do when you go to the doctors and you receive a diagnosis that shapes your journey, your path in life. Today I have a very special guest, Miss Ericia Philips. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
First of all, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
I'm willing to share your journey with others,
Yes.
and the goal is to support and encourage and uplift those who are facing any type of diagnosis of cancer. But today we're going to focus on breast cancer. And so, your diagnosis was triple negative breast cancer,
Yes.
stage 2, right?
Yes.
And how old were you?
I was 36 years old.
36. So take us back. Take us to when you went into the doctor's office and
Oh,
take
yeah.
us to that time.
So when I first noticed the lump, I was just at home and I was sitting on my bed, and I was talking to my mom and my boyfriend at the time, and they was like, "Oh no, I don't think they should be concerned or anything." And so when
Mhm.
I went to the hospital, I had to show my doctor where it was at because she couldn't feel it, and then she thought it was benign, and she did actually refer me to Dr. Faha, but at that time, but it wasn't like something like immediate, so I didn't think of it anything wrong because she said it might be benign, and then 3 months later it got big. The next time I got to her was my next follow-up appointment, and then she felt it, and then she looked at me very concerned, and I just broke down in her office, and she
Yeah.
hugged me, and she said, "Oh, you're young, it probably nothing."
Yeah. Let me intervene. You said that so you felt the lump
I
first?
felt it like, yes, at home
So
on
you
my
were just
bed.
doing like your home checkup of your, because you know how they we are encouraged to do self exams on. I don't mean to keep doing like this
Yeah.
over my,
Oh no, you're fine.
but we are encouraged to do self exams, on your breast. So that's what you were doing.
I was, and you know what? Usually I don't. I really don't do exams. I just happened to be sitting down and on my bed, and I just felt my breast. Sometimes I just, just randomly touch it, and I noticed it was something there that I never felt, and I was like, I need to get this checked out because I was just getting a new doctor, and I was like, hey, I felt this, and I'm happy I did because that's how it turned out to be breast cancer.
So I imagine, when you first heard the words negative, triple negative breast
Yeah.
cancer, what was the first thought of emotion that hit you?
Oh
Like,
gosh.
what part of yourself did you feel like you lost?
Yeah.
And with loss comes discovering
Yeah.
sometimes. What part? So let's start off first. What part did you feel like you lost?
Well, when I first before I heard that I had triple negative breast cancer, my doctor called me. I was laying on my bed. She just said, "Hi, Risha, are you sitting down?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You have cancer," and I immediately
Wow.
was just taken back. Um, I FaceTime my mother and my sister, and I screamed into the camera, "I have cancer." So I didn't even know what diagnosis I had, what kind of cancer at the time. I didn't know, and I just had like my siblings around me. We went back to her
Yeah.
house, and I was just looking at my nieces at the time because my nephew was at my brother's house or school, and I was just praying I was going to be able to see them grow up. That was a lot of emotions going in my head.
I can only imagine. And so through this, what part of you would you say you discovered during this process?
Just I discovered how strong I am, and I always felt like I was strong, but I had to be strong enough to keep doing the treatments and keep staying at it and taking my medicine. It was a challenge because when I first started chemo, I was like probably the loudest person in the room,
Yeah.
and then after a while, the medicine was always working, but then it started actually like I started feeling it from the
The
symptoms,
side
and
effects, yeah.
I was like, no, I want to make it, I want to beat this, and that's when all my strength came in. And even my mom, she was like, Arisha, you're so strong. She said, because honestly, I don't know if I was be able that strong to do that. What you're
Yeah.
doing.
With all the symptoms that you face, because you know the common side effects of
Yeah.
chemotherapy is fatigue,
Oh yes.
nausea, vomiting.
Mhm.
Some cases with certain chemos, you have the numbness and
Mhm.
tingling of the fingers. Did you experience all of those side effects, or which one was the most heavy?
Oh my goodness! And when I went in for my consultation, they was telling me all the side effects I was going to face. I was like, oh, okay, but I honestly didn't think I was going to face any of them.
Right.
But I faced nose bleeding. My
Wow.
period stopped, so I had like menopause. So I actually had a fan in my room, which I never do because I do not like air like that. So that was different because I was hot and then I was cold, and the what I had the nose bleeding, the menopause, but the most challenging one for me was awful. It was itching. It was itching in my feet and sometimes my hands, but it was really my feet. Like I had a great day at work. I got off of work and my feet was itching a storm, and I was like, "Where did this come from?" And I told my mom, and I just took a Benadryl when I got home.
Did that relieve the
It
itching?
relieved it, but I felt like I was like I had to be like a I had to keep taking Benadryl like if I got home after work or in the gym. That was the most severe symptom that I had was the itching. I did have fatigue. I would sleep like kind of 3 days straight. I would wake up. Sometimes I didn't even want to eat anything. I had to force myself to eat.
Some of the education that I give to patients who are
Yeah.
going through chemo
Yeah.
and with the fatigue, one of the education statements that I always give is to preserve your energy.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, if you have to get up, because most of the time, after chemotherapy, maybe on the third or fourth day, I'm going to be very tired.
Yeah.
So, like, you would get up or try to get things done earlier during the
Mhm.
week or earlier during the day when you know that, your energy is going to be the highest. Is that
Yes.
good education that the nurses give?
Oh yes, and I mean, yeah, they did give me that. I mean, especially you gave me that information. It was like 2 days. It's like you're out for like 2 days. Like you're really like your body. So my manager, I told her the first person I told outside my family and friends, I told her, and she was like, okay, I'm gonna give you 2 days off because you're not gonna feel good.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at the time. I had no idea at the time, but she obviously knew that I wasn't gonna feel good.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did take that time to rest, it definitely helped. The third day I was up, I was probably trying to wash clothes or go for a walk, but it became challenging as I got more chemo.
Yeah.
But I did, and I felt like once I got better, then the next round of chemo was happening in the next week because it was like every week, and then
Yes.
when I got AC, then it was every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, but even though the AC was every 3 weeks, it was still pretty challenging because I felt like that one really, really took me down, especially after I had to get the shot afterwards for my white blood cells, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That took me really down, and it made me vomit. I had fatigue. I feel like I had every symptom that you can imagine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just so joyful for you. Every time I look at you,
Oh
it's
my
just
God, me
like-
too.
Just to sit
Challenging.
here in your presence and just to see God's faithfulness.
Yes.
It's just very good to see.
It's
Because I
great.
know it was times where you even doubted. Let's be real and transparent. With cancer, you doubt, am I
Mhm.
going to be here? Am I going to make it? So it's a constant battle. Being an oncology nurse, I see patients who come in just feeling so down, and it's my job, not only my job, but nurse's job who works in the field of oncology to, you have to have empathy for your patients. You have to have patience for your patients. It's been times where they come in, they have the most worst attitudes,
Oh.
and I have to put aside, how I'm feeling to say, hey, they just need a hug today. And it's been sometimes where I have just held patients and they just
me.
cry, and then
you have me.
and then after that they are feeling amazing. So again, I'm just overjoyed to see your journey. All right, so let's talk about identity and survival.
Okay.
Once your treatment ended, what surprised you the most about survivorship? Meaning, like, emotionally and mentally, like, do people assume you're back to normal when sometimes you may still be inside processing the trauma.
Yeah, I feel like when I first started going back to work, my manager didn't think that I was like normal. I would see like picking up packages. She said, "Oh no, you're not," because she had already knew I had surgery and everything like that. But for the most part, people do treat me the same at work. They treat me the
Good.
same as they did before I left. When I did, because not a lot of people knew I had cancer at the time when I was at work, until like I had a moment, and I know like this is detouring from the question, where I had to take an ambulance from my job because I never ever had to do that in life at all. But
Wow.
I kept throwing up at work, and I ran into the break room and I threw up. So that's when everybody at my job pretty much knew what was going on with me. And so they definitely, asked me, like all the managers, because, I'm a manager, but we all sit and they always ask me, how are you doing? How do you feel? They want to make sure that I'm okay. But right now, they see me as just normal. They're like, okay, everything's behind you.
Yeah.
And I feel like I do have to be strong a lot of times for my family, for my nieces and nephews and work. But I be at work and sometimes I break down because I think about my cancer, or I go on TikTok and I see someone else battling cancer.
Yeah.
It does happen like every other day or every week.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can't. I'm strong in person, but behind closed doors, I feel like I'm not as strong sometimes.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's listen. It
Yeah.
is okay not to be okay. We
Yeah.
can't walk around being strong all the
No.
time. We are human. We are naturally wired to feel emotions. So listen, when you have your days, what I always told you, don't stay
You did.
there.
You told me that.
Don't stay there.
You
You can
have.
have your moment, but don't stay
That
there.
was yeah. You definitely told me that. You said
Yeah.
don't stay there.
Yes. But I want to pivot real quick.
Okay.
Support. Let's talk about support.
Yep.
Support is very important when your family members are facing a diagnosis like this. It has been plenty of times where I have encountered family members who are pushing my patients to do treatment, to continue treatment, to press past the side effects that they're having, even down to getting a port place, drawing labs. Even though it seems very small, I think as a caregiver, caregivers need to, or family support
Yeah.
need to take a minute and understand that they, you are not the one going through the diagnosis, going through, the challenge of fighting for your life. And I said that to say, I remember when I lost my mom to ovarian cancer, and being a nurse, well, I wasn't a nurse at the time, but being in the world of oncology, because I was a nursing tech, but then having, I took care of patients, dealing with cancer, but then also happened to be a caregiver of my own mom. And one thing I had, because I would get so upset with her, and I'd be like, well, why you won't do this, and why you won't listen to them, and why you won't get the surgery, and why you doubting, but that has taught me that you have to be patient with your family members when they're going through this diagnosis, because it's a lot of wear and tear on the body, mentally and physically. And sometimes they just want you just to be there and not say anything and just let them go through what they need to go through. So I hope this helps someone who are, feeling overwhelmed, or maybe feeling role strained because of your family member is complaining of side effects. There's plenty of side effects of chemotherapy, and if you're not going through it, you really don't understand what the person is going through. So that's just a little season for today. Just be mindful that we're not pushing on what we want for our own selfish needs and overlooking the person who's actually going through the diagnosis. So I just had
Right.
to chime in
Oh,
right
definitely.
there.
Yes.
Did
That
you
was good.
experience any of that a little?
Yes, and just like support, I was really happy that my mom and my sister was able to be there with me during chemo. And I remember when I first started, the head of nursing, she was like, "Oh, we wanted to have it on this day," and I was like, "No, I have to have it on this day because I want my mom and my sister to be there. And I was adamant.
Right.
And I made that happen.
Right.
Because she said, oh, no, we have family. We're here. And I have learned that everybody there is definitely family. They know me. Like, they're like, oh, okay, Aricia's here. And
Yeah.
I have definitely made a family there. But I wanted my mom and sister there because I wasn't quite sure how everything was going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy I had their support. I was able to have my brother there for, one time. And I was really thankful that he was there to be there with me. And then the last one of my friends. So it's been really good having support. And then during the stresses of it all, there's one time with immunotherapy, never chemo, surprisingly, and chemo put me down a lot.
Yeah.
When I was doing immunotherapy, because that's when the saline started getting to me, the most
Yeah.
thing that doesn't even bother me now. And I was sitting on the couch with my mom, and I was like, I don't think I can do it. I was really in tears.
Yeah.
I was bawling, and it's
Yeah.
probably all on ring camera right now. And she was like, "Oh, Risha, you have to, you got to do this." And I even sent my doctor something. I don't think she ever read it because I sent it in like a little messaging that we had. But I was like, I don't know if I can do immunotherapy anymore because it wasn't immunotherapy, it was the saline. And plus I was still doing chemo at the time, so it was getting to me. And so having them be able to support me and tell me, no, you just have to do this. We support you either way, but we want you to do this because we want you to get better. I was really happy to have my family members, my friends,
Yeah.
everyone. My friends would come from my job and bring me stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, if you need anything, and they really meant, because sometimes you have people to be like, do you need anything? And I'd be like, oh yeah, and they'd be like, okay. But this person really brought me some water home. My friends came to see there just to sit there with me, and I really love the support. You really feel like who your friends are during that time.
Amen.
Even the people
Yeah.
that you didn't think was going to be there for you, are there for me, and that really surprised me. So I'm really happy that I have all that support in my life.
Well, I'm glad. Now, let's move on. Dating and vulnerability.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
So, right, you're 36-year-old,
Yes.
right? 36-year-old survivor.
Mhm.
How was breast cancer impacted? How has breast cancer impacted the way you approach dating, intimacy, and confidence?
Oh yeah. Well, at the time I did have a boyfriend, and that's during that time, but he was going through his own battles, his own health battles. So he sadly couldn't be there for me as much as I want him had to be there with me. So during that time, I had to leave from that environment and go with my mom so she could help take care of me during that time. And that was a big challenge because I like to take care of myself. But even since then, I really haven't, dated or anything.
Okay.
I even looked at apps and stuff like that. But I'm not really can you trust this?
Do you anticipate dodging the scary conversations? Would you tell someone about your diagnosis?
Oh yeah,
or-
I tell people all the time. I'm very open. I'd be
Okay.
like, "Yep, I had breast cancer." I'm
Yeah.
not even afraid to say it. I
Yeah.
tell people all the time. It's just itching to tell them. It's not "Oh, you want to know I had it," But if someone asks, I'm very willing to say
And
it.
I'm glad to hear that because that
Yeah.
embraces you. It's a part of.
Yes, I'd be like, "Well, I
Part
had
of
breast
you.
cancer," and they'd
Yeah.
be like, "Okay," but pretty much I just been not even thinking about really dating. If it comes, it comes. But I really haven't. So even through this whole breast cancer journey, I just been just doing me for now, just working.
Okay. Now, redefining strength. What does strength mean to you now
Oh,
after
goodness.
you done gone through the whole process? How is it different from what you thought strength was before cancer?
Right, because before I don't even think I was thinking about it too much. I just knew I was strong. I was strong at work, and I barely did anything when I was home. But now after going through cancer, I feel like that has made me stronger because my health has taken a turn, something I never thought would ever, in a million years would have taken a turn. So I just feel like that I view the situation differently, and that I don't take anything for granted anymore. I feel
Amen.
like sometimes we do take things for granted, but I don't. I'm constantly making sure I'm checking my breasts or checking anything for lumps and everything like that. And I just
And how often
praying.
are you going for your
Yeah.
mammogram? Because you went
Yeah.
through this process. So,
Mhm.
what is the protocols
Oh,
or
yeah.
or the guides that you have to follow up on for your mammograms.
Oh, right. Actually, I just pretty much like with my doctor for the oncology. She pretty much just books all the mammograms for me. Actually, I have one coming up like in March.
So it's like every 6 months,
It's like
3 months,
it
or
could be like because I did one like 2 months ago.
okay,
So I feel like it's like every 2 months.
okay.
And then some she said will be like every 3 months or 6 months. But I have one coming up like next month.
So is it for like a consecutive 2 years or
Yeah.
so?
She said
Before-
that'll be there for life.
Yeah.
Technically, she didn't say it, but she's like gonna be with us forever. And
Because she has to keep checking. Yeah.
And I was like, I just got one. We was good. That's what I was thinking in my mind when I was talking to her. I didn't say it out loud, though.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
very vocal and honest with her. But-
How do you battle the thought of recurring?
Oh goodness, I definitely. I try not to even think about it, but like I would be looking at TikTok, and I looked at
Okay.
TikTok before I was diagnosed and everything like that, and a girl that went through triple negative breast cancer went the same around the same time I did, 2025. Hers just came back, and it was really sad because I was waiting to hear her news, and hers just reoccurrence, and I was like, oh my goodness, like what happened? And then when I heard about her reoccurrence, I was like, I pray to God that I don't have reoccurrence.
Yes.
I just now rung the bell 2 times. I don't want to have to go back and do the same thing. I don't want to go through chemo.
Yeah.
I barely have any hair as it is. But I said, I just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
So I just try to take care of myself and my health. And
that
my
comes with
vitamins.
eating
Yes,
habits. And not only eating, let's touch right here real quick.
Yeah.
Stress,
Oh, yeah.
worrying, a lot of impact as far as I believe when it comes to diagnosis of chronic illness starts from worrying and stressing. We have, endorphins in our body.
Right.
We have a hormone called cortisol in our body. And at any time, the cortisol level is at a heightened level, which is our stress hormone, it causes everything to go crazy. I have heard a person say that I have to keep my numbers down because when she would go, if she be stressing and worrying about things, that when she goes to the doctors, numbers are up.
Oh.
That's so important.
Okay.
To keep your stress levels down.
Yeah.
Try not to worry. And that's what faith is. Easier said than done. But it's a fight. It's a challenge.
It is.
So just do what you have to do. And I just wanted to add that for us being healthy, because
yes.
we always think it's diet. Yes, diet is a big part.
Oh gosh.
But
it's hard.
mindset, mindset and what you're thinking and what you're choosing to worry about. Because, you can release a lot of inflammation in the body. That's why sometimes you could just be so worried. You have headaches, and the next thing you know, you have all these body aches, and you might not even be actually sick. It could just be the results of just being, stressed. It's just the result of stress taking a toll on your body. So
that's
I just
true.
wanted to,
That was
add
good.
that little season, if I may.
That's good insight, because I think afterwards I was getting headaches and stuff, and I was like, and when I had to get like a MRI done, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not feeling great or anything like that, but it was nothing, and I think it was me just stressing, and I never would have thought about that until now, and probably later in life, but I just was stressing about different things. And that made me think it was something else.
Yeah.
And
But I'm just because
Yep.
that's part of taking care of yourself. But what else do you do? I didn't mean to cut you
Oh, no,
off.
you're
You
good.
said diet and what else?
Oh no, I tried diet. Honestly.
Oh, I said diet.
Yeah. I was like, no, not me. I work out.
Okay.
I do go to the gym, and since gym is close to my job, so it helps out a lot.
Okay.
And then I try to be like, but why is my weight still the same when I go to oncology? I was like, what am I not doing?
Child, that's the story of my life. Why is my waist still same
I'm like, so
size?
it's the same size. So I was
Yes.
like, well, I'm not losing or gaining. But that helps me because that helps teach my stress levels. I'm in an environment with a whole bunch of people. And even when I'm in an environment with a whole bunch of people, I don't feel overwhelmed or nothing. I feel
Good,
right at
good.
home. I'm right at home. I guess when I'm alone, even though I love being alone, is when I start to stress and cry and probably start thinking of things I shouldn't be thinking of.
Yeah.
So being with people makes me really happy.
That's
I
good.
love
That's
that.
good. Well, maybe you gotta surround
Yes,
yourself.
I did. Because I just be like, I just started thinking of stuff that I wouldn't think of when if I was at work or if I was talking to my siblings
But
or my mom.
you really have to. And this is just some
Yes,
advice.
100%.
I like to journal. I'm a
Yeah,
huge journal. I journal a lot.
I do
Write
understand.
those thoughts down. Find your scripture, which I call a breath scripture to combat that thought. Because you always got to remember the enemy is always on a prowl.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to give us the thoughts to make us doubt, make
Mhm.
us have unbelief, make you think
Yeah.
that the cancer is going to come back. And the most important thing from all of this is God's will.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to, what I just told you about my experience today,
Yes.
I got to the point where I said, this is it. This is my last try.
Mhm.
If it don't work, God, I accept your will. It's not meant for me.
Right.
And I think that's the place that with anything in life, yes, it's easier said than done because who wants to lose a loved one with cancer? Who wants to be diagnosed with cancer? But at the end of the day, it's God's will. And I
Yes.
hope that this helps
Oh,
you,
definitely.
journal a little bit and give it to him. Because, listen, he
Mhm.
knows the plans and the thoughts that he has for you. No one else. So when you feeling, when those thoughts are creeping up, yes, it's good to get out and be around people.
Yeah.
But you when you're alone,
Yeah.
that's the most important person because that's you.
That's me.
It's you. So just, a little season.
Yes, definitely. And I
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Of course.
If you could speak to another young woman
Oh yeah.
just diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, or
Mhm.
not only, triple negative breast cancer, but any type of,
Any type of cancer.
what would you tell them? Look right into that
That's
camera
right.
and tell them, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that, it's going to be okay. Do not overthink it, because I know that the first thing you're going to do is probably go on social media. You're going to look up a whole bunch of stuff, and exactly what I did. But I just want to make sure that you just know that it's going to be okay. It's okay to cry because I cried. But as long as you have a village behind you, and even if you don't have a village, surround yourself with someone that is going to be there for you during this journey, because I had my mom, I had my friends, but I understand that a lot of people don't have anyone. But just know that the oncology team is definitely a big family, and they'll start to know you by name, and you're going to feel stronger. You're going to go through a lot of symptoms. I'm not even going to sit here and, I don't want to say lie to you. You're going to feel it, but you're going to get stronger. You're going to smile like I did. Believe me, I had my days where I was really sad. I was throwing up. I was sick. I couldn't make it. I had to leave work early. Sometimes I couldn't go to work, but I still challenged myself to get up every day. I made sure that during chemo, I went to work every day during chemo. I didn't leave and take a leave until like afterwards, just to get my body time to heal when I was about to do surgery. But for me to still stay and do work during chemo was, I applaud myself every day. I just recently told my mom, I said, Mom, I went to work that every day during chemo. I feel that was really, really good. I didn't take any days off during that time. But I just want to let anyone know, whether it's a woman or man, a child,
Yeah.
that it is going to be okay, and you're going to be great. You're going to do great.
Yeah.
It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be scary, but just get up every day and fight to stay here.
Yep. And that's all you can do is fight. And again, not our will, but his will.
Yes.
And before we go again, information.
Oh, God.
Information. Strength is not pretending you aren't shaken. Strength is standing. Even after everything tries to break you. It's allowing yourself to grieve, heal, to grow. You are not defined by what you survive. You are refined by it. You are still there, and that is strength. And so, before we go, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and have a fabulous weekend. Bye.